He is a god of the game.
Welcome everyone to SportsCharcha. For all the hype we give for La Liga's two biggest games of the season, it was a 15-minute VAR decision that had more drama than 180 minutes of football. Can Atleti do it? Or they still have some bottling left in them? Talking about bottling, Man City's victory champagne has to stay in the ice for a little longer. Is Maguire's injury a big concern for Manchester United? Are Leicester going to, well, bottle it to allow Liverpool to sneak in? Bundesliga wrapped up, Milan demolishing Juventus, and I know guys, how can we miss PSG when we are talking about bottlers? Let's go!
World class!
Hey everyone! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to this. This is Tuesday, the 11th May, 10:15 a.m. A lot of things happened during the weekend across all the leagues in Europe, but there is only one place to start, that is the La Liga. We expected a lot of twists and turns to happen during the weekend. Well, there was a lot of drama obviously, but the table remains as it is. Both the big games, Barca Atleti and Real Madrid Sevilla, ended in a draw. But we'll start with the game that had a lot of talking points, lot of controversies and lots of drama, which is the Real Madrid Sevilla game. So Eeshaan, did Sevilla deserve a draw, or you think Real were robbed of 2 points?
We were robbed. It was a bank robbery, man. I'm still bloody pissed off with that. Meaning, I think, so Sevilla played well, there's no doubt about it, but we deserved the 3 points, definitely. In the first half, Benzema's header, which got disallowed, it was a very dubious offside call. That got disallowed, and then, meaning, we've all seen what happened with the penalty. Benzema was through on goal on a counter attack resulting from a Sevilla corner, and he was brought down by the keeper, which was a clear red card. And when I looked at the highlights, I didn't even see too many Sevilla players appealing for the apparent foul that took place in the penalty box in Real Madrid side. But when the referee went to check the VAR on the screen, instead of figuring if the goalkeeper deserved a red card or a yellow, he went back to the corner kick and found that Militao had handled the ball. And if you see the highlight, it is very, very, very dubious. And that resulted in a Sevilla penalty, which Rakitic duly scored. You don't expect him to miss penalties. And that could have changed the entire season for us. That would have been the end for us. It would have brought Sevilla back in the title race. But as luck would have it, in the 93rd minute, Toni Kroos hits a rocket of a long-range shot, which ironically hits Eden Hazard, of all players, heels. I don't think he knew very much about it, but it was just destiny, I guess. I probably saved his career. I don't know. Hit his heel and it went in. And so, as you said, it was a dead rubber, not the ideal result both teams wanted. But I think in the larger scheme of things, I think they would have both taken it because of the magnitude of the game. And there's still games to play.
I saw the highlights, and especially I saw that incident that led to the penalty. But to be very honest, I thought it wasn't that bad a decision, because I was listening to the referee's justification of that decision. So his point was Militao's arms were outstretched, so the ball clearly touched his arms inside the penalty box, and that's why he gave the penalty. See, again, debatable. You can see it from both ends. We can argue about it forever, but it is what it is. But apart from that penalty, did you see Real create a lot of chance, or is that the same issues that they had over a period of time, which is too much dependence on Benzema to create a chance or to even score a goal?
It was a better performance than the one they had at Chelsea, but anything can be better than that performance. I think you saw a little more attacking flair just due to the fact that Sevilla is an attacking team. So there were a lot of open spaces for Real Madrid to exploit. But it's still like it all goes down to Benzema at the end, right? If Benzema can convert whatever 1 or 2 chances that he gets, that's the difference maker for a Madrid side. You saw Asensio coming on in the second half, and with his first touch, he scored. And that was an open play.
What a brilliant finish.
What a brilliant finish. Like, although I would have said that the keeper should have done better because he was beaten on the near post. We all know that keepers ideally should not be beaten on the near post, but it was a great finish. But I think it's it was a good performance. It was a solid performance. You don't see Sevilla having too many clear-cut chances, which is great. So our defense going back to Militao, Nacho defense is proving to be far more solid than one-time Ramos appearance in the middle of nowhere. But again, we have a lot of issues that we need to fix. Vinicius, for example, he blows hot and cold so often, and his finishing is just appalling. He had a clear open goal chance in the second half, which he just somehow managed to miss. And we can see that on the other player, Real Madrid player, they have that little bit of a frustration when it comes to Vinicius and his finishing, because he does all the hard work, but the simple things he cannot do. Similarly, Marcelo, meaning he's been a great servant to our club, but I think time's up for him, and I think it's just because Zidane's there and Zidane loves him, he's getting playing time.
Also, I believe Mondi was injured. Otherwise, I don't think Marcelo starting the game.
Yeah, Mondi's been injured, and then our biggest player, most important player in this season, Lucas Vazquez, is out for the season.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he would have put in. He can be put in anywhere, and he would have played in that role. But yeah, we have to make do with what we have, and we're still in the race, which is a good thing. But I think Atletico has been given a lifeline. They survived the Barca result, which we'll talk about right now, and Madrid didn't capitalize on that opportunity.
Let's get into the Barca Atleti game. So I saw the game. I couldn't watch the entire 90 minutes. I saw in bits. And to be very honest, I was bored. I was actually bored. There was nothing in the game. It was really boring. Both the teams lacked a lot of incision in the final third. They were creating chances. Both the teams were creating chances, but I couldn't see anyone on the field able to finish those chances. There was one glorious chance for Dembele, which he missed. I'm not going to blame Dembele for this draw, because he was just there in the field for 20-25 minutes, and he got the great chance. He should have converted, but he missed it. But other than that, Griezmann was flat. Messi tried his best. You could have scored a great free kick. But again, credit to Oblak and credit to even Ter Stegen. Both the goalkeepers were actually pretty brilliant. Not something surprising. We have seen these two goalkeepers performing really well over a period of time. But again, it was a very boring game, not a great game to watch, and an ideal result for Atleti. And it was an ideal result for Real until their game also ended in a draw.
Yeah, I was frankly pretty disappointed with how Barcelona played in the game. This was a clear-cut chance for them to revive their season, make something for it. They didn't have anything to show this season, right? And this was a chance. They had their squad. They were in form. They should have taken the attack to Atletico Madrid, which they didn't in the first half. Partly because I think they were a little surprised with how Atletico lined up. They, I think, expected Atletico, like always, to basically keep the pressure, hold the pressure, and attack on the counter. But from the starting whistle, Atletico held the game by the scruff of the neck and attacked Barcelona. I think that what shook them a little. Pedri had a very disappointing game in midfield. Normally, when Pedri and De Jong have good games, Barcelona are more potent in attack. I think the big turning point was Busquets getting injured and substituted, because then what that meant was that everyone had to fall back a little and be a little more defensive, because he's the last man before defense. The one standout player I think not too many people talk about in Barcelona is Araujo. He's been putting up stellar performances in defense. He's probably the future for Barcelona. But I think both teams lacked that edge. This could have been, this is a season decider. As we had all hyped it up in our last podcast, both of us.
Yeah.
I think we were more excited than the 22 players playing that game. So that's unfortunate. We expected a great game, but yeah, draw is a draw.
Did Araujo start? I thought Longley, PK and Mingueza started. I think Araujo came in as a substitute. As you said, he's been putting up great performances. And the exact point that you brought up, Busquets' injury, because that kind of put De Jong further deep, which increased the gap between him and Messi. So Messi has to drop back. So actually, that made Barca less potent in their attack. Anyway, a great opportunity dropped, but as you said, it is advantage Atleti now. Hopefully they won't screw it up. They still have 3 games now?
Yeah, but they have a tough game coming up midweek with Real Sociedad, and that's never going to be easy.
Oh, a potential banana skin.
Yes, Atletico Madrid this season have only been looking at banana plantations. So that will be quite an important game. Big no, because especially because nobody's talking about it, and that's where Sociedad are really good at.
Yeah.
The moment nobody talks about their game, they pull up an upset. So I'm interested to see what happens. There'll probably be a more attacking game because Sociedad is a very beautiful to watch football team. I'm looking forward to Atletico slipping up there and giving Real Madrid a yet another chance. It's like Destiny has said Real Madrid title le, but Real Madrid like nahi chahiye mujhe, nahi.
It's like everyone's passing the ball to each other.
Yeah.
So Real has 3 games. They have 2 away games. In fact, their next 2 games are away games against Granada and against Athletic Club. And the final game is against Villarreal. But I don't think Villarreal will take that game seriously with an Europa League final immediately there. So I don't think they'll take that game pretty seriously. The tricky game I would say is the away game against Athletic Club. But I don't think Real should have any problem getting over that. Barca have 1 away game which is against Levante, which is tonight 1:30 or tomorrow technically, and then they have a game against Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo again have always been a party pooper for Barcelona. Iago Aspas will come up with this best game always against Barca. And then the final game is against Eibar. Now Eibar is against fighting for their lives. They are in that relegation fight and they have been in good form over the last 2-3 games. So
didn't Eibar beat Barcelona in the first round? First cycle, I think
question.
they did.
No, I think it was a draw. It was a draw.
Got it.
So again, 3 very interesting games to look out for, and I don't think the drama is over yet. There's going to be more twists and turns. So hopefully it lives up to its expectation. So in EPL, we also thought that Man City will wrap up the league. Unfortunately, they have to wait for 1 more week. So do you think this result against Chelsea has got any bearing for the Champions League final?
I doubt it, man, because like if you see City squad, they made 9 changes, but Chelsea also made 5 changes. So they were all playing not their strongest 11. And if you see the game, it was pretty, as we expected, pretty dull. And the game could have turned if Aguero had not done what he did. I don't think it has any bearing because you're going to see a very different City in the Champions League final. But you might not see a very different Chelsea. So what Chelsea did was play the Chelsea way, although with different players. And throughout the game, we saw City struggle quite a bit to break down that City defense. So it'll be interesting now if Chelsea bolster their squad with their strongest 11. Can City break that squad down again?
The only negative point for Chelsea in that game was Christensen's injury, and it looked pretty bad.
Yeah,
he might not play the season again. So that's a big blow for Chelsea. But apart from that, they were pretty solid. And as you rightly pointed out, Aguero chose a really wrong moment to try that Panenka. I mean, no offense to Aguero, he's been an absolute legend. Like if you see the goal he scored against Crystal Palace the previous week, I mean, a guy who can do that kind of things on the field, it was very disappointing to see him try that Panenka and failing miserably while doing it. And also City had a controversial penalty not given. So as you rightly pointed out, City, even though after making 9 changes from the game, from the starting 11 that played against PSG in the Champions League, they could have still won the game actually, if not for that penalty miss and for that poor penalty decision. But anyways, credit to Chelsea, credit to Tuchel. He continues to impress me. Now, this is where I have a question. I mean, again, advance apologies to Manchester United fans. I'm not trying to piss you off, but Chelsea took that decision to sack their club legend for a better manager. And immediately when he was available, Tuchel was fired by PSG, and within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he started his job in Chelsea. Lampard was fired and he started in Chelsea. And look at where they are right now. They are in the Champions League final and they are in the top 4 race also. Pretty much in the top 4 race. They have lost only 1 or 2 games. They have beaten City twice. Tuchel has beaten Klopp, he has beaten Simeone, he has beaten Zidane, he has beaten Ancelotti. I mean, all big managers. Now, my question is...
And actually, this was the first goal he's conceded against the top managers this season.
Second goal, I would say he did concede that one goal against Zidane. Sorry, against Real Madrid against Zidane. But yeah, I get your point. Even though it's still just 2 goals conceded in what, 8 matches, 9 matches against these top teams. That is an incredible record. Now, coming back to Manchester United, is Ole going to be the one who's going to take them to the title? I don't think so. He's a good manager. Credit to Manchester United. They did brilliantly against Aston Villa. This is their 10th win in this season after conceding a goal, which is a record in itself. Amazing performance. I mean, all their star players are playing really well. Cavani, I mean, it is Cavani. There is nothing new to talk about Cavani. He is such a royalty of a footballer, and he has also actually extended his contract. I just saw the news. Mason Greenwood proving to be a great talent. He is the highest scoring teenager for Manchester United. He's just beaten Wayne Rooney's record. And then you have someone like Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, all playing really well. But I still don't think they will start as an obvious favourites next season under Ole. So my point is, why can't Manchester United be a little bit more ruthless? I understand Ole is a club legend. He's an extremely likable person also, and he has done a great job this season. Again, not taking anything away from him, but I still don't think he is the right guy to take them to a league win. Yes, he can challenge, he can probably be in a top 4 race, but I don't think he will go as close as winning the league.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I would have, absolutely agreed with you in the middle of the season, but what has Ole done wrong since the turn of the year, right? He's mathematically, Manchester United can still win the league if City slip up. However unlikely, they're still in the race. The second, they've had a solid season. They could be European champions. They could win the Europa League. So he's adding to the trophy cabinet. While I understand, can he do that extra bit to win them the Premiership? I don't think so. But if you look at how Lampard went when Chelsea did not know how to do. They couldn't grind out results. They were losing or drawing the easy game that they were supposed to win. And the season could have been very different from them in terms of the Premier League standings. And so I understood where that came from. But when you look at Ole's performances, currently United have no reason to let him go. However, it's going to be, you're going to have a full strength Liverpool next season. City are going to be stronger. Chelsea are going to be stronger. It's going to be tougher next season than this season because you saw a lot of big clubs slipping up. That could be one excuse, right? United did well because the other big clubs didn't do so well. But the proof is in the pudding right now for all the United fans and as well as the United board. You currently have no reason to let him go.
I agree.
Also, I would have said that, Julian Nagelsmann would have been a great option for Manchester United, but he went to Bayern. I'm pretty upset with that decision, by the way, but we'll get to that later. But currently, if you look at it from the United culture, which manager is available right now that can join United and maintain that swashbuckling or whatever, go back to that swashbuckling attacking football?
My point is, even if someone's available, as you rightly pointed out, yes, there could be a reason to appoint a new manager, but there is no solid reason to fire Ole at this point of time. So I believe they will probably stick with him maybe for one more season and see how the next season goes and take a decision based on that.
Yeah, just one point I want to add is how immense Edinson Cavani has been for Manchester United this season. I could just picture him. What if Real Madrid had gotten him when they had the chance a year ago? When he was deciding which team to join after PSG, we would have been a completely different team with Cavani in the squad, and we would have got him on the cheap, right? But this guy has shown that passion. He's actually brought the entire team up to a higher level because of how good he is, the passion he brings on the pitch. Every goal he scores is this, his celebration brings that passion that, not many players had before that. So I think it's great. It's a big signing for Manchester United to renew him for one more year. So I just wanted to give a big props to Cavani.
Very smart signing, and actually, United have made a lot of Dutch signings over the last 4-5 seasons, but over the last 2 seasons, they have actually done pretty well. Starting from
It
Harry
reminded me of the
Maguire.
Henrik Larsson signing during Ferguson's time for just one season, and Henrik Larsson turned the season around.
Even Van Persie for that matter.
Yeah.
Even Robin Van Persie, that one season they signed him, he ended up being the top goal scorer. Now, we're talking about United's smart signings. Like you have Harry Maguire, you had Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, okay, the jury is still out. But Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, probably one of the best midfielders in the world right now. And then you have Edinson Cavani. He is a complete number 9. Probably, I wouldn't compare him with Lewandowski. Again, we'll talk about Lewandowski soon. His understanding of space within the box, he makes it look so simple. He always finds that space between defenders and he scores some spectacular goals. His first touch finish is amazing. Now, United have 2 big games. One is against Leicester and one is against Liverpool. Actually, let me take that big game out of that statement. It is not big for United actually in terms of the league standing, because they have already confirmed their Champions League status for next season. They have qualified for Champions League. Now, it's a big game for Leicester and it's a massive game for Liverpool. The big problem for United right now is Harry Maguire could miss the rest of the season because of that ankle injury. Just a simple stat, how important Harry Maguire has been for United. He has played every single minute of the previous 71 games for Manchester United ever since he signed. 71 games, every single minute. He has never been subbed.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's how important Harry Maguire has been. So it will be interesting to see how Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof cope up with Manchester United's defense for the rest of the season. It actually also puts Villarreal slightly... it gives Villarreal some extra points in being favourites for the finals. Still, Manchester United are clear favourites, but it just brings the percentage a little bit. So it will be...
It balances a little.
Now, talking about Leicester, are we seeing one more Brendan Rodgers slip up?
Oh, good point. Yeah, meaning the result they had over the weekend was not expected. It was not in the script. But I still feel that they can do it. But yeah, the match against United is going to be pivotal, and they've in the past done pretty well against Man United. I think City slipping up gave United a lot of motivation, even though, however unlikely, as I said. But if you saw the tweets from all the United players after the game, they were really pumped up, right? They were really in for the battle. And that might go against Leicester right now, because if, say, for example, City had already wrapped up the league, you might have seen a United that might rest their players because they might, focus on the Europa League. But that's not the case anymore. The one other point I think we should mention is that because of the Liverpool game being canned because of the protests, United are playing 3 games in 5 days.
Yeah.
Fatigue is a fact, right? It's not something that people talk about, but like there will definitely be signs of fatigue in the United squad. They will have to switch it up.
That's where my point is. See, now United have about 4-5 games for the rest of the season, and by far there is only one game they are worried about. As I said, their Champions League status is confirmed, so it doesn't matter if they lose all the remaining league games. There is only one game that they are worried about, which is the Europa League finals, and they already have a major player injured.
Yeah.
So will they take the chance with someone like a Bruno Fernandes or a Pogba or even a Cavani for that matter, or will they play their fringe team? Now, talking about United's bench, they still have players like Donny van de Beek.
Oh, he still plays for United or what?
Yeah, he does. So yeah, so the point is they can still make up, but I believe against Leicester they will field a much weaker team, but against Liverpool they'll probably field a slightly stronger team. They'll be chopping and changes, but their focus will mostly be on the Europa League finals and to keep these players as fit and as safe as possible for that game, rather than risking their fitness for these games. Anyways,
I think this will be a true test for Ole in terms of him as a manager, because this is where tactics and strategy will come into play, right? Balancing out priorities, but also he cannot forget he's Manchester United, right? What is a weak squad if you're Manchester United? You cannot field weak squads, right? Like we know when Real Madrid, Barcelona field weak squads, the media just ruins us. Same goes with Manchester United. Meaning, I predict some changes, but you're not going to expect all those changes in one game. They'll happen across the games. There will be changes in the Liverpool game. There will be changes in the Leicester game, but not all of them will miss together, because it's very important for the optics to look right for United next season, for whatever big transfers they're looking at, whatever the future holds next season in the transfer window, as well as the success in the league. It's very important for the fans right now, especially who are a little precarious in their mood, to show that they are in for all the titles, however unlikely. There might be changes, but I don't see too many changes.
Just one quick update on the Manchester United fans side. Their kit sponsor, I think it's Hut Group, I believe. They have backed off from their sponsorship deal. It was a 200 million sponsorship for 10 years, I believe, especially because of the fans' protest. So
yeah,
maybe United's fans protest actually did create a certain noise. Maybe Glazers will listen. Anyways, moving on to other news in EPL, West Brom relegated. Big Sam Allardyce finally got relegated in Premier League. And the irony of Sam Allardyce getting relegated is, when he was appointed West Brom's manager, he gave a press conference at that point of time when Arsenal was also struggling. He mentioned that Arsenal is also a relegation team. They are also fighting for relegation. And it's just irony that they got relegated after a defeat against Arsenal.
How these stories align.
And you also know Sheffield United already being relegated. And just yesterday night, Fulham also got relegated. So we have all the relegations taken care of. So we have about 8 to 10 teams in the league right now who have absolutely nothing to play for. And Liverpool have 3 of their remaining 4 games against such teams. So that's West Brom, Crystal Palace, and I believe, I don't know which other team. So some other team.
Just before we end our Premier League talk, I want to ask you a question. Which team, according to you, has been the biggest disappointment in terms of the potential they showed early on, and where they are right now?
Early on in the sense, early on in the season, and where they are right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I would probably say Liverpool, definitely. They showed a lot of potential early on. That is one. Tottenham, definitely. I thought they will definitely finish at least in top 4. They were on top of the league at some point. In fact, there are many teams. Southampton showed a lot of promise initially. They fell down. The biggest, I would...
Forgetting Everton.
Everton, that's what. I'm coming to Everton. There is Aston Villa. There are a lot of teams who did pretty well. But yeah, if I have to pinpoint one team, I would probably pick Tottenham. Because Liverpool, Everton, all the other teams had their injury problems. But Tottenham screwed it up big time. A couple of other quick news, that Norwich and Watford got promoted to Premier League. Those 2 teams were relegated last season, so they are back for the next season. And Bournemouth could also get promoted. They are in the playoffs. So this could probably be the first time ever where all the 3 teams that got relegated got back to Premier League in the next season. Let's see what happens.
But this is what Premier League money does, Bala.
That's true.
If you're in the Premier League, the money you get, and then you somehow get relegated, you can still withstand or maintain the squad you had in the Premier League to come back up again. So you're not going to see times. If you've seen the last 5-6 years, a lot of clubs who got relegated have, at least in the next a season or 2, they've come back. But you're not seeing fairy tale stories as much as you used to, where unlikely teams are coming back in the Premier League.
Well, there have been some stories. I mean, like there have been. You have at least one team coming up. You have these Sheffield Uniteds. You had Leeds United coming up, and even this season in Championship, there is. So apart from Bournemouth, you have Swansea, and then you have Brentford and Barnsley. So Brentford has been a great story so far. So we'll see what happens there. And just to cover one more news, Chelsea women's team have won the WSL and they are in line for the quadruple. In fact, they are also playing the Champions League finals. Chelsea's both men's team and women's team are in the Champions League final.
The women's team are playing Barcelona, right?
Yes, the Barcelona women's team. Barcelona women's team who also won their league.
I think this is after many years I'm not seeing Lyon in a women's Champions League final.
Yeah. That was the biggest story, Lyon not playing in the Champions League final. So we'll see what happens there. Serie A, Inter being champions, they suddenly have this great freedom to play. After winning a series of 1-0 games, they go and smash Sampdoria 5-1. Alexis Sanchez scoring 2 goals. Some players who I haven't even seen in their starting 11, they come in and they score goals. They were just enjoying. It was a great game. And they were playing against Sampdoria, who's coached by Claudio Ranieri, who gave guard of honor for Inter, and he said he felt really good when Chelsea gave them a guard of honor for Leicester. So he told his players to do that for Inter. It was a great gesture, and Inter played really well. But the story, the news, the main game of this weekend was Juventus versus Milan. Oh man, what a humiliation. I know you are watching the Real Madrid Sevilla game. I was actually watching the Juve Milan game. Oh, Milan absolutely dominated the game in all the 3 fronts. And Ronaldo had one of his poorest games. He was nowhere to be seen. It was totally.
But is that Ronaldo's fault, or he basically didn't touch the ball or not given the ball in the first half? I was seeing the highlight.
He did receive the ball, but I mean, I agree it wasn't totally Ronaldo's fault, but it wasn't. I mean, according to Ronaldo's standards, it wasn't his best game, I would say.
Yeah.
But apart from that, Milan had a spectacular game. 2 of their best midfielders were back playing for them, Kessie and Ismail Benacer. And in fact, Milan missed a penalty. It was 1-0. Milan got a penalty. Kessie stepped up, and it was an awful penalty. And when that penalty was saved, I thought, okay, here we go. Juve has a chance now.
Yeah.
Let's see how they can come back in this game. But again, Juve fell very flat. 2 amazing goals. Did you see the goals?
Yeah. Brahim Diaz, curler. Although Szczesny could have done better there. His positioning was awful in that. But I think all the goals that they scored, even the Tomori goal, he completely destroyed Chiellini on the header when the corner happened. And meaning, I think, kudos to AC Milan for putting up a great game. It's actually their first win ever at the Allianz Stadium. Juventus were an absolute disgrace in terms of how they performed, right? Like, there was nothing from them. Their tactics were all wrong. A lot of the blame goes to Pirlo, and I think yesterday he came out with a comment saying this was not the plan I had in mind when I used to, build strategies when I came into Juventus, and this is not the right set of players. Probably a really cheap thing to say right now. Yes, he had no experience as a manager. So I'm asking you a question. How much does the blame goes to Agnelli and the Juventus board to appointing such an inexperienced manager just because he's a legend and that's the trend right now?
Majority of the blame, I would say about 70 to 80% blame goes to them only. See, again, this is something that we discussed, I think, 1 or 2 episodes back. See, you give Pirlo the job, you ask him to execute his vision, his strategy, whatever. But if you don't give him the team, if you don't give him the players to execute that strategy, how is he going to do? Now, you have to give him time. Not finishing in top 4 is a major setback for Juventus. I'm not sure how they are going to react to this. We'll have to wait and see. But this blame has to go to the Juve board, obviously. And some responsibility needs to be taken by the players also, because the coach can give strategy, the board can recruit players, but at the end of the day, the players have to go to the field and perform. I couldn't see a lot of that on the field. How many times you have seen someone getting on top of Chiellini and a header? I mean, that's a rarity. And Tomori was just doing it as if he's doing against an amateur defender. Credit to Tomori, but then Juve's players weren't really great. So you are going to see a lot of changes in the Juve team also this season. It will be interesting. On the other news, Napoli won their game and Atalanta have won their game. So as it stands right now, Inter champions, Atalanta number 2, Napoli number 3 and Milan number 4. So Juve still have a game against Inter Milan. So it will be great to see Inter beating Juve and kicking them out of the top 4.
Do you think Juventus will give Inter a guard of honor?
I don't think so. I don't think so. They have so much spite, man. I don't think that's going to happen.
But Pirlo was an ex-Inter player.
Well, in Italy, everyone has pretty much played for AC, Inter and Juve aage piche. So it's always like in this case, for example, Stefano Pioli was an ex-Juventus player coaching Milan, and Pirlo was an ex-Milan player coaching Juventus. So in Italy, it happens all the time. So talking about winning leagues, Bayern has won the league, Bundesliga again, without even having to play the game, because Dortmund finally woke up and realized that they are going to lose Haaland if they don't finish in top 4, and played a spectacular game against Leipzig. It was probably the game of the weekend. It ended 3-2. Jadon Sancho, playing one of his best games of this season, scored 2 goals and scored the winning goal, the all-crucial winning goal. And to add to the point that Haaland wasn't playing this game, he was injured, he was sitting in the stands. It was a brilliant game, crucial win. Dortmund is back in top 4 right now, which means Haaland could stay in Dortmund next season, and which also meant Bayern won the Bundesliga even before they played the game against Borussia Mönchengladbach, which they won 6-0. Small things. Lewandowski scored a hat-trick again, and he scored 39 goals. 39 goals in a season where they play only 34 games and they still have 2 games to play.
And he missed quite a lot in the last month.
Yeah, he missed I think 3-4 games due to injury, and he's 1 goal away from equaling Gerd Muller's record of 40 goals, which I believe he is going to do pretty easily. Just to give the magnitude of this achievement, I think there was only one player who has scored more than 40 goals in a 38 games or less season, which is I think Messi. He did in the 2011-12 season, and I think Ronaldo did once.
He did it under Mourinho, I remember.
So it was only Messi and Ronaldo, they did it, and that too in a league where they play 38 games.
Yeah.
In Bundesliga, they play only 34 games. This guy is a freak of nature.
I think he will go down as one of the greatest ever centre forwards to play the game. The sad part is that he's playing in a generation or in an era which has Messi and Ronaldo. So not too many people will write too many stories about him. But at least both of us have noticed him, and he is definitely, I mean, what a player in terms of he can do everything. He can head the ball, he can finish with both feet, he can score long ranges, bicycle kicks, scissor kicks, he's done it all. And literally he's made hat-tricks look like a piece of cake. With the ease at which he scores goals, it's just unbelievable. Yes, his time at Bayern Munich is also the strongest Bayern Munich teams you've seen in many decades, with the Robben and Ribéry era, even right now, and they're just too strong for the Bundesliga. So those have played to his advantage, but you still have to put the ball in the back of the net, and he's done that too many times.
Yeah, and 39 goals is a tremendous achievement. No matter how strong your team is, still a player scoring 39, 40 goals in a season is a ridiculous achievement. And the one thing I noticed, Dortmund defeated a team who's being coached by a future Bayern Munich manager, and then immediately next game, Bayern defeated a team coached by future Dortmund manager.
Wow. I mean, what do you want me to say?
I mean, that's Bundesliga.
Incest.
Talking about interesting leagues, Ligue 1 is also getting a little interesting. Well, interesting for people who want to see some other name other than PSG on top of the league. Lille have a clear lead right now because PSG slipped up against Rennes. They had a 1-1 draw. Again, I didn't watch the game, I just saw the highlights. It seems to be an extremely poor game. Will Pochettino stay, or will they fire him?
No. He's definitely staying. Meaning he came almost midway through the season. He got the big result against Barcelona, which showed really well on his resume. But they will definitely give him another season. But we might see a very different PSG next season. We know that Neymar has renewed his contract. But what does that mean for Mbappe? Will he renew it? Can they afford to renew an Mbappe and a Neymar as well? All those things will play an important factor in how well Pochettino does next season, right? Because if you go beyond their forward line, Icardi, Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, their midfield is all right. It's not the greatest in Europe, definitely. They made some dubious calls like renewing Draxler's contract, who barely plays. So a lot of interesting moves.
Acha, Draxler has renewed. I saw he was going to.
Yeah, I saw Fabrizio Romano's tweet yesterday. Draxler has been offered a renewal, so that's a little strange.
Oh, okay.
They've got Idrissa Gueye there, but not much else, right?
Okay.
They've not got a strong squad. They've got great superstars as players, and that's what I think. That's why one of the reasons Pochettino has come in to actually get some young players to become superstars like he did for Spurs. I think it's still they're going to give Pochettino transitional time. Not winning the league if they don't, I'm not counting them out, is still not all Pochettino's fault. He's had horrible results, let's be honest.
I agree.
On horrible results since he's become manager of PSG in the league. He's lost quite a few games, which they're not supposed to lose. But he'll still be given that time, I feel.
Agree. Losing the league is not entirely up to him. They had a horrible start because the players were also tired. They played Champions League final, which went on till August or September, I believe. So yeah, losing the league is not entirely up to him. His victories against Barcelona and Bayern would have given him a lot of breathing space, would have given him a lot of leeway. So hopefully we'll see Pochettino next season.
Yeah, also it's almost like Lille is having a Leicester type season, right? Who would have thought Lille would bring out such consistent results week after week, winning games when it matters? So you have to put that into context as well. I think on a normal season, this point tally would have been enough for PSG to win the league.
Yeah.
It's just that Lille is having a spectacular season and might not be enough for PSG.
Remember Renato Sanchez, the Portuguese wonder kid?
Yes. Oh, he exists. He's a footballer.
Dude, he plays for Lille. He has been one of their star performers this
Remember,
season.
he had a loan season at Swansea, which nobody could believe.
He was loaned from Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is like, jao, Swansea mein jaake khel.
Bayern bought him after they won the Euros because he was one of their best players, and then didn't know what the...
He was the best young player of that tournament.
Yeah,
Nah.
and they didn't know what to do with him after he came to the squad, so then he went to Swansea. I couldn't believe that's what like a FIFA thing when you get the best Messi signing up for like Bury FC.
It's good to see him realizing his potential. You remember Jose Font,
The defender.
He's 37. Yeah, he's there in Lille. He's having a great season.
He was with Southampton, right?
He was with West Ham. Was he with Southampton? I don't remember, but he was definitely with...
He was a partner with Van Dijk at Southampton.
Oh, okay. And then this Turkish striker, this 36-year-old Turkish striker, Burak Ilmaz or something, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
He is also there. Good for Lille.
Hazard will be happy.
Best. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations to Lille. Hope they wrap up the league in time. Great. So we are done with all the football talks. Now it is time for our Who Am I section. And as I promised last episode, we have 2 players this time.
Yay!
The rules remain the same. We have 4 clues. I'll keep telling 1 clue each, and I'll give 5-6 seconds in between, and then you can guess whenever you know, and then I'll move on.
It's 5-6 seconds, dude.
I'm just giving you like a little bit of time to think. If you can't answer, then I can move on to the next clue. All right, let's go. First player.
Let's do it.
Okay, this player, clue number 1. I have played under Andres Villas-Boas, Diego Simeone, Mourinho and Louis van Gaal, and I'm still playing. I haven't retired yet.
Andres Villas-Boas, Mourinho, Van Gaal,
Simeone.
And Simeone. Okay. So it has to be a United connection.
Okay, good point.
It Vandreas Villas-Boas can either be a Marseille connection and Simeone is only one connection.
That's true. That's a clue. That's a hint. Simeone being only one connection.
No, I need the next clue.
Okay. In my injury-ridden career, I have played for clubs in Portugal, Spain, England, France, and currently I'm playing in Turkey.
Currently I'm playing in Turkey. What the hell? The only player who comes to mind in Turkey who broadcasted every day is Mesut Ozil, but he's not the guy. I'm drawing a blank, bro. This is a tough one.
Okay, next clue.
Bol.
In the official 2012 FIFA World's Best 11, I was the only player who was not either from Real Madrid or Barcelona. That Best 11 had 5 from Real Madrid, 5 from Barcelona, and this player was the only one who wasn't either from Real or Barcelona.
2012?
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy?
2012, I'll give one more hint. At that time, he was playing with Atletico.
At that time, he was playing with Atletico.
Remember a player in 2011, 2012, 2013, that time in Atletico, who was in FIFA's World's Best 11. So he was definitely a brilliant, a wonderful player at that point.
Is he a striker?
Yes.
What? This is really, I'm drawing a blank. This Andreas Villas-Boas is just putting me off. Last clue. Shit, man, I'm disappointed in myself.
Okay, the last clue. I was famously known as El Tigre, and I was Atletico's record signing until it was broken by Griezmann.
El Tigre.
Dude, El Tigre.
Bro, you...
Striker from Atletico Madrid, El Tigre, one of the best players in the 2012-2013 time.
Orlan?
No. Think. A South American player, think.
South American player, Atletico Madrid.
Who has played for...
Orlan is South American.
Who has played for Manchester United under LVG.
Wait. Falcao.
Yes.
Falcao.
Yes.
Fuck. Thank God. Oh my God. Wait. Andres Villas-Boas kidhar?
Porto.
Oh shit. Yes, of course.
So he's played for Porto, he's played for Atletico Madrid, Manchester United, Chelsea, Monaco, and now he's playing with Galatasaray.
This Turkey thing, I didn't know he was playing in Turkey. That Turkey hint thoda... Because Turkey, I only think of Ozil, man.
That 2012's team, I remember, man. I was like, or put someone else from some other club, man. You know who were all in that team? So it was Casillas in goal, was PK Ramos, Marcelo, Dani Alves. Midfield was Xavi Alonso, Xavi, Iniesta. Forward was Messi, Ronaldo and Falcao. It was a season when Real won the league and Messi scored those incredible number of goals and Spain won the Euros. So naturally, it was all Spanish. Anyways.
That was a good one. That was a good who am I?
Alright, the next player. First clue. My professional career lasted for 19 years and I have played for 12 different clubs across 8 countries including China and India.
Wow. Okay. That's the hint.
That's a first clue. China and India is a slight hint.
Okay.
19 years, 12 different clubs across 8 countries including China and India.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. Del Piero?
No. Let me go to the next clue. I was always a controversial figure. During the 2010 World Cup, I was banned from my international...
Marco Materazzi.
No. Let me finish the clue. I was always a controversial figure. During the 2010 World Cup, I was banned from my international team for shouting at the coach, "Go dash yourself, you dirty son of a dash." Think of 2010 World Cup controversy, player being banned. That should drill down your team at least, the national team at least.
There was one which was apna Ireland.
No.
Roy Keane got fucked off from the team because of that.
Was it 2010 World Cup? I don't remember 2010 World Cup. 2010 World Cup. This was a big controversy. This made noise all over the place.
Anelka?
Yes!
Woo!
You got that right. It was Anelka.
Yes.
My next clue was going to be I was one of the 3 Chelsea players to have won the Golden Boot Award, other than Drogba and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And the last clue will be I missed the penalty in a Champions League final and blame my coach for bringing him on to play as a late substitute.
Good hint would have been, did you know I actually played for Real Madrid?
Yeah, he did play. Dude, he's played for Liverpool, he's played for Chelsea, he's played for Manchester City. So he's probably one of those players who've played for 3 or 4 of those big clubs.
He played for Juventus as well.
Yeah, he played for Juventus as well, true. And he ended his career at Mumbai City FC.
Started from the top now here.
He's a football administrator now. Somewhere in France, I remember.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's running a club, sporting director or something like that.
I still remember that great Chelsea team, man, with Anelka and Drogba.
Yeah, they were brilliant.
And bench mein they had Dembaba.
Yeah, true. They
It
were
was a great team.
Alright, great. This was a good one. Thank you everyone for listening. And guys, one important news from us. We are now live on Spotify. Yes. Please make sure you find us on Spotify. Search for SportsCharcha. That's Sports Space Charcha. And please subscribe, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you for listening, guys. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening in. See you next week.
If you enjoy what you heard, please share it with your fellow sports podcast listeners. And for more content, or even if you want us to discuss any other sports related topics, do reach out to us on Twitter at SportsCharcha. And a big shout out to the Jam Room for our theme music. Please do follow them on Facebook at the Jam Room Audio. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.
He is a god of the game.